Hello students, myself Dr. Sarita Bhandari from MLN College Yamunanagar. Today we will discuss the general characters of algae. Please be attentive. Algae is the plural word of the word alga, which in Latin language means seaweed. It is a very primitive group, very diverse group, and all the organisms are eukaryotic. I hope you know the meaning of eukaryotic. Means there is a true nucleus and double membrane system with simple thalloid plant. What is a thallus? Thallus is a plant body which does not have true root stem and leaves. Then the range is very large, goes from unicellular genera like chlorella to multicellular forms like giant kelp, which may grow up to 50 meters in length. So it is a very diverse group. Most of the members are autotrophic, aquatic, and possess unicellular or multicellular sex organs which are not enclosed by a sterile jacket. Autotrophic, they prepare their own food, and for what is the prerequisite for being autotrophic, that they must have pigments. Then most of them are aquatic, and if they are terrestrial also, they reside near water, and they possess sex organs which are not enclosed by a sterile jacket, which is very important. Study of algae is known as phycology, or sometimes we also say that it is algology, but more common term is phycology. The habitat of algae. Habitat may be aquatic, terrestrial, or special. Aquatic means they are living in water. Now water can be of two types, either fresh water or marine. Fresh water means all the ponds, lakes, rivers, they are freshwater bodies. Then marine is the salty water of seas and oceans. So algae can reside in both of them. Then terrestrial, many are terrestrial. They live on moist places like Pocheria and nostoc. Then there are some special type of habitats like epiphytes. Epiphytes, epi means above and phyte means plant. The algae which reside on other plants, they are known as epiphytes. Example is Ulothrix. Second is endophytes. Endo means inside, phytes means plants. Endophytes are the algae which live inside other plants like nostoc. Nostoc is present in roots of some plant, so it is endophyte. So nostoc is terrestrial also, aquatic also, and endophyte also. Then epizoophytes, the algae which lives on animals like Lynchpia, it lives on the surface of sponges. Then there are thermophytes. Thermophytes means the algae which can survive in hot springs at very high temperature where normal plants cannot survive. They are known as thermophytes. Then there are cryophytes, which are in very cold places. They are cryophytes. Then comes symbiotic. Symbiotic means there are many algae which have a symbiotic relationship with other plants. For example, nostoc has a symbiotic relationship with cycas. It resides in the roots of cycas, it gets shelter from the cycas plant, and it in turn fixes nitrogen and provides to the cycas plant. Some algae are parasitic, that is, they derive benefit from the plant, but they do not give anything in return. They are parasitic. So these are types of habitats of algae. Now we move on to the next slide, range of thallus of algae. So as I told you earlier also that algae has a large range of thallus. Basically we can divide it into two parts, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular can again be of two types, motile and non-motile. Motile means that they can move from one place to another. And what is the prerequisite for being motile? That they must have some organ which can help in their motility. For example, flagella. So they are motile. Example is Chlamydomonas. Non-motile are those which cannot move from one place to another. They are example is Chlorella. Then in multicellular, again there are two types, motile and non-motile. Non-motile colony is Pediastrum, which is a colonial form, but it cannot move from one place to another. Then the motile colony is Volvox. So motile colony, it is also known as synobium type of colony. It is a round shaped colony and it can move from one place to another. Now further types are amorphous colony. Amorphous means that it has not a definite shape of thallus. There can be definite shapes also like filamentous and heterotrichous. Filamentous means that the cells are placed end to end. Filamentous further can be of many types. Unbranched filament, there is a single series of cells which are placed end to end. For example, Ulothrix. There can be simple branched, means that uh, simply they are branched like Cladophora, and there can be pseudo branched like Scytonema. Then there can be heterotrichous. Heterotrichous means there are two levels of their thallus. One level is along the substratum, and there are branches arising from the aerial branching arising from the substratum branching. So that is heterotrichous. Then there can be siphonous, siphon like in which there are many nuclei, but the cells are not divided and it acts as a siphon. There can be pseudoparenchymatous and parenchymatous. What is the difference between pseudoparenchymatous and parenchymatous? Pseudoparenchymatous means that there are basically filamentous type, but they divide in such a manner and they are embedded in mucus so that they appear like parenchymatous, appear like undifferentiated mass of cells. Parenchymatous is actually dividing in many planes and appear parenchymatous structure. These are the types of various uh, alga. You can see in the right hand side diagram, there is A is heterotrichous filament, B is also a tubular thallus, C is a branched filament. Like this there are, and last one E is parenchymatous type. So these are various types of thalli which are present in the alga. Now this is a typical algal cell. This cell represents a typical algal cell. So first thing is cell wall. As you know, this is included in plant world, or plant world has a very important thing that there must be present a cell wall. So the outermost is the cell wall. Cell wall is followed by cell membrane. Then there is a cup shaped chloroplast. Chloroplast is very important because chloroplast has the pigments, and that is why the algae are autotrophic. Then there is present pyrenoid. Pyrenoid are the special bodies which function in CO2 fixation and produce starch. So you can see starch grains around the pyrenoid bodies. Now this is a cup shaped chloroplast. Then there is a stigma or eye spot. The eye spot is an organ which receives the stimulus of light. Now this is a motile algal cell which I am showing you. There you can see the flagella present. Now if there is light on one side of the pond, the eye spot receives the stimulus of light, and with the help of flagella this algal cell will move towards the source of light. So this is the stigma. Then there is present nucleus, a well defined nucleus because it is a eukaryotic cell. There are present contractile vacuoles which function to maintain the water balance of the cell. Then you can see two flagella. These flagella, they help in locomotion or motility of the algal cell. Now, a very important thing is about the chloroplast. Chloroplast in alga are of different shapes. In higher plants, generally there are discoid type of chloroplast, but in algae there are different shapes of the chloroplast. For example, in first diagram, you can see the cup-shaped chloroplast. Second is discoid chloroplast. This is in the thallus of Vachyria. You can see there are many chloroplasts which are along the cell wall. Then there is in the third diagram, you can see collar-shaped or simply C-shaped chloroplast. Then there is ribbed chloroplast. Then there is reticulate chloroplast, or there is network of chloroplast. Then in the sixth diagram, you will see spiral chloroplast. This is the cell of Spirogyra, जिसके अंदर spiral shape के chloroplast हैं. Then there is stellate. Stellate means star shaped chloroplast. This is present in alga zygnema. Another important thing about the alga is that there is pigment distribution. Pigments in higher plants, generally there are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, but in different forms of algae, there are different types of pigments. For example, in chlorophyta, the chlorophyll are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. In xanthophyta, chlorophyll A is present. Chlorophyll A is universal. In all these it is present. Along with chlorophyll A, there is present chlorophyll E. In Bacillariophyta, there is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. In Phaeophyta, chlorophyll A and C. In Rhodophyta, chlorophyll A and D. And in Cyanophyta, there is chlorophyll A. Similarly, carotene distribution is also different. In Chlorophyta, all the three types alpha, beta and gamma carotenes are present. In Xanthophyta, beta carotene is present. Similarly, in most of other, beta carotene is present, except in Rhodophyta, where alpha and beta both are present. So, similarly, xanthophylls are also different in all the types of alga. In billiproteins, there is very interesting thing that they are present in Cyanophyta and Rhodophyta. In both of these, phycocyanin and phycoerythrin are present, which give different color to these two groups. We will discuss it later. Now, Cyanophyta is not included now in algae because it is prokaryotic and it has been separated from the alga. So, the next slide, next we come to the reproduction part. Now, reproduction can be vegetative, can be asexual, and can be sexual. Vegetative reproduction is simply by fragmentation, budding, hormogonia, and propagules. What is fragmentation? Fragmentation is simply when the filament breaks into two and the two parts are independent plants now. They grow and become independent plants. In budding, a small bud appears from the side of the thallus or filament, and that bud separates from the parent filament and grows into a new plant. Then what is hormogonia? Hormogonia it is just like fragmentation, but what is the difference? That the breakage is at the dead cells. It is present in Oscillatoria. The dead cells break and the two parts then they form the new filaments. Similarly, propagules, some vegetative structures appear and they separate from the parent filament and start living independently. Then we come to asexual reproduction. Let us go to the next slide for showing you. This is the A part is the hormogonia. Here there is dead cell and the part divides into two from the hormogonia. B is fragmentation, simple fragmentation. The filament divides at random places and each part starts living. Third diagram is of budding. There is a small bud-like structure which separates from the parent plant and it is independently grows into a new filament. Fourth or D is propagules. Here you can see different structures arising from the main filament. They separate from the main filament and start living independently. Now comes the asexual reproduction, in which the first, which is E, is zoospores. Zoospores means that some small motile structures appear inside the vegetative filament. They are released from them. They move with the help of these filaments, go to the suitable substratum, and then they develop into the new filament. Why they are known as zoospores? Because they are motile. Otherwise, they do not have any link with the animal. Don't confuse it, but they are simply known as zoospores because they are motile. They are separated from the parent filament, move to new places, and then they grow into new filament. The next diagram, or F, is a kinete. What is a kinete? Kinete is simply a vegetative cell which develops a thick wall around it, and it undergoes unfavorable period. When the next favorable period comes, then it will grow into the new filament. Next is G, is autospores. Autospores are non-motile structures. These are non-motile structures which develop into the parent cell, and they completely resemble the parent cell. That is why they are known as autospores. Just like their parents, they are released, they are non-motile, they fall on the substratum and grow into the new thallus. Then next is H, is hypnospores. Hypnospores, they are non-motile and thick-walled. They are slightly thick-walled, so they do not resemble exactly the parents. They become thick-walled and they are released and grow into the new thallus. Then there are exospores. Exospores means that these spores, they are produced outside the plant body or the thallus body. These next is endospores. Endospores are the spores that are produced inside the thallus, inside the cell, and there are numerous endospores produced. They are released and they grow into new thalli. Next, they are monospores. Mono means single. So there is a single spore in the sporangium. That is why it is known as monospores. So all these are means of asexual, vegetative and asexual reproduction. Now we come to sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, you can see that there are three types. First is isogamous. Iso means same, gamous means sex cells. The two sex cells, they are exactly similar in morphology. They fuse together and they form the zygote. And then from it, the next generation starts. Second type is anisogamous. Anisogamous means N means not, iso means similar, gamous means sex cells. So these two cells which are fusing, they are not morphologically similar. You can see one is larger, second is smaller. So they fuse and they form the zygote. Third type is oogamous type, in which a particular oogamy is there. There is antheridia and oogonia develop. Oogonia is the female part, antheridia is the male part. So it develops. This is the example of Vaucheria. You can see there is a oogonium, round shaped, and there is the antheridium which develops very close to the oogonium. Then the antheridium, it releases anthrozoids which fertilize the oogonium, and then there is sexual reproduction. So these are the general characters of algae. Uh, Hope you could understand it. So we will deal with the classification and economic importance in the next lecture. Thank you.